writers, over the past couple days you've been working really hard on your research. We were looking at our table of contents and we were starting to do some writing, and a lot of us hit a point with some of our topics where we realized we may have to dig a little bit deeper. I know for me, some of these musicians I wanted to write about, I don't know too much, so I needed to look to some research. So the paragraph that I started with, I was writing from my head. I was writing as much as I could about what I knew. So here's what I have so far. Musicians. As a pianist, there are many musicians and composers that I have looked up to. They have crafted the classical world and made piano music what it is today. These musicians include Beethoven, Mozart, Handel, and Bach. So that's really all I could talk about. So I knew I needed to turn to research. So I have my research page here. I'm going to talk a little bit about Beethoven today. But I also have research on those other three composers as well. And as I was researching, I was actually thinking about some text features, just like a lot of you have as well. And a text feature that I thought I might want to include would be a table. So right now, before I start writing, I'm going to draw a table, and inside that is going to be a list. So I'm going to put my table here. The title of it is going to be musicians. Actually, I'm going to say composers. So that will be the heading of my table. And I'm going to do a list. So I'm going to write 1, Beethoven. I'll write 2, Mozart. Then I'll write 3, Handel. And 4, I'm going to write Bach. So what I can do after that, I still have a little more research to do, but I actually want to put the year that maybe they were born inside of this table. So from there, I've got a cool pop-out text feature that draws my attention to the musicians that I'm writing about. And now I'm going to write. So my main heading was musicians. I'm going to have a couple subheadings starting with Beethoven. So I'm going to put this here. And I'm not going to worry about this table being in the way because I can write around it and then expand once I get underneath it, just like any other information text piece. So just like you guys, I have my website, I have my topic, Beethoven, and I filled it with 3 notes that I found on this website. So I'm going to turn these into writing. So here's my subheading, Beethoven. So I'm going to have a topic sentence because I know I need to talk about my main idea. So I'm going to start with one famous musician. Spelling it wrong. Musician. Notice I just crossed it out and kept going. And I'm going to connect this back to my introduction. So I'm going to say one famous musician who helped shape the classical world was Beethoven. Now I can start putting my details in here. So I published his first composition before age 12, 9 variations in C minor for piano. That was the name of it. So I'll say before he was even 12, so that's right around your age, before age 12. Before he was even age 12, he wrote and published. Notice how I'm writing around my text feature now. His very first piece. This was called, I'll put it in quotations, 9 variations in C minor for piano. So I have 2 more details that I can add to it. But what we want to do today is take the writing that we've already done from our heads and turn our research into writing. If there's a text feature that you can think of, I know I've talked to some students about some lists like I have here, some timelines. I think I've talked about some Venn diagrams comparing some of the information that you've found. Go ahead and add that to your writing and then shape your writing around it. So today your job is to take your research and turn that into writing. Happy writing!